At the end of the day, I think that if there are people in Iran who now, given everything that's happened, are willing to move in a different direction for their country, that would be great. Imagine in Iran that instead of spending their wealth, billions of dollars supporting terrorists or weapons, had spent that money helping the people of Iran, you'd have a much different country. So we are always hopeful that that would exist over there. And at the end of the day, I think that if there are people in Iran who...
Good morning, Goyam. O's dead. That's good for me, actually. Popping Upper Decky. And we're going to get started on the show today. My name is Elijah Schaefer. I'm the host of Slightly Offensive here on the final air on Riff TV. Just like the world in the flood before us, they thought that they could destroy us. But guess what? We might be small, but she told me it's big enough. And that's what I think about our audience, right? It's not the size of the audience, it's how you use it. And Jesus had 12 disciples. And remember, it took just one Timothy McVeigh to blow up the federal building. So one guy can have a big punch. Anyways, joining me today as a solo show is the resident producer and also, according to recent reports in the media, twink number 2. Georgie,
hey,
welcome back.
Twink number 2 here. It's going to be a good show. We got a lot to get into. Lots to get into.
Yeah, we actually do. So today we're going to be talking a lot about some very interesting things, which includes Georgie. That's where you can find him, Sith Lord Graper. But we're going to be talking about the Iran war, some of the craziest stuff that Trump said in the last 24 hours that kind of will blow your mind. Plus, Pam Bondi is fired. Who's going to give Pete Hegseth blowjobs in the Oval Office front room while she's gone? I don't know. Maybe Tulsi Gabbard. No, wait, she's going too. That's not good. Plus, Kash Patel might be up for firing. Polymarket odds are up. Today's also a very interesting and very important day. If you saw on my X, it is the anniversary of Austin Metcalf's murder. A young white teenager at the hands of a black man who is now free, not in jail, actually. That might make you mad. We're going to be covering that. That was right here about Georgia. You were actually surprised about that. I was like, hey, let's go to the place where they murdered him. And it was like we walked down the street, probably about, I think per minute drive, we probably passed about 37 or 38,000 Indian people. And then we made it to the, past the Hindu temple and the demon god into the ISD Memorial High School. But there are minors there, and it's illegal to go on property, so we just filmed in front of it. We'll be talking about that. And additionally, Irina Zarutska is in trouble. Not only is she dead, Jews are trying to erase her from history, and we're talking about some crazy things with the economy, including peptides are finally lifted. We have a great show for you guys. I'm really excited to get into it. So let's just start talking about this today. Don't forget, if you want to join the community, you can join at ElijahSchaefer.locals.com. These are the pilot episodes as we get our studio ready. So just understand that, the show's going to be progressing with graphics and with content and with guests. But there was this fat brown guy. I'm not going to say who because we're not going to counter signal our people. But he's gay too. Okay, so he'd make a perfect, employee here at Riff TV because that's what we love, fat, brown, gay people. And I'm kidding. That's what they say we all are. But he was like talking shit on our first episode back. Hey, man, fuck you. This is amazing that we rebuilt everything. Go back to that white shot. We built a new studio. We're back in business. And We're not going to be talking a lot about tangents and stuff too, but you know, I'm 2 for 2 now in winning hearings in my personal life. And so I'm happy, and we're here, we're queer, and you can't stop us. You know, they say, be gay, do crimes. It's true. Right. As you saw in that opening post, I want to play this one more time. You guys probably saw this. Marco Rubio, who's our Secretary of State, who Donald Trump famously said, you can't trust him. He was at Lion Ted Cruz. And what did he say about Marco Rubio? What was his name? He was short Marco Rubio, or what was he? Just Mexican Marco?
Oh, what did they call him?
I don't know.
Little Rubio.
Little Rubio, yeah, because he's got big shoes, like the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis. But he was basically, Trump said, look, you can't trust this guy because he took money from the Adelsons. And I spoke to somebody at OAN, really great guy. Don't ever counter signal him either, because he's going to have us on his show. But one thing he said, he's like, the what you got to do to get viewers is just agree with everything the Trump administration says. Everything. The boomers love it, man. You don't even have to read the news. You just sit down and then you just support everything that Trump does. Well, he said something like this, and we're going to counter signal Trump for a second here because this show's going to be honest. Watch this.
Who now, given everything that's happened, are willing to move in a different direction for their country. That would be great. Imagine in Iran that instead of spending their wealth, billions of dollars supporting terrorists or weapons, had spent that money helping the people of Iran, you'd have a much different country. So we are always hopeful.
Yeah, we are always hopeful. So the big bad Ayatollah, he basically is a bad guy because he spent his money on war. God forbid a country spend all of their tax dollars on war. SNL had an interesting skit about that before we show the contradiction. They've been crushing it recently. We're not going to watch the whole thing. We're just going to watch the Trump part here. But even SNL is starting to make a lot of sense. I don't like saying that. I don't like that. These are a bunch of gay Jewish people. And we love the gay Jews. We love them. They're great. They're fantastic. They run my industry. They run your industry. Sophie Rain's industry too. We love the gay Jews. However, the gay Jews were right here. Listen to this. They're spot on here, and I don't like sponsoring them. We'll probably get make sure you just put me in the box, not full screen, because we're going to get a DMCA. I'm actually going to pull it off full screen here and play it small so we don't get a DMCA here.
Why does gas cost so much?
The Epstein file. Kidding. But possibly not. It's called butterfly effect, right? Epstein was first domino. Epstein, bing, bing, bung, bung, bing, bing, bung, bung, bung. War. Anyway, hi, it's me, Donald Trump. You might remember me from such campaign promises as lower gas prices and no more wars. Psych. We love to make promises because a promise is just a lie that hasn't happened yet.
Okay, so that's true. Now, take that off before they give us a DMCA. I was trying to move it around there a little bit. So Trump's saying, look, a lie is just a promise that hasn't happened yet. And that's what's happened to us. We've been lied to. And I don't like my colleagues. I was at CPAC. We'll talk about it. We got quoted in the New York Times. We got laughed at for saying, you thought the New York Times was trying to interview you. Literally, the New York Times came and interviewed us and published in the New York Times at CPAC. So once again, you guys were wrong. Elijah Schaffer vindicated again, continually vindicated. I don't have an apology form like Nick or like Beardson or whatever. Shout out to Beardson. Shout out to Nick and the Groypers. Shout out to the rest of the streamers who have pushed past the shit. But I do have a vindication chart that we do. It's a little whiteboard, and we're vindicated again. You're going to see some big vindications over the next month. This is getting really, really, really good. All I know is I've been in a lot of court cases for my job with the FBI and stuff. I've won them all so far, and the ones that you don't win, you can always kill yourself. So, and then they can't win because you're dead. Now, we don't promote that. That's bad. But you could if you're in Canada legally. Just saying, it's not a far drive. But it's kind of funny because Trump said that. And you're like, that's kind of interesting. So a country that spends their money on war is worth destroying. What does Trump say we're spending our money on in our country? Check this out.
Because the United States can't take care of daycare. That has to be up to a state. We can't take care of daycare. We're a big country. We have 50 states. We have all these other people who are fighting wars. We can't take care of daycare. You got to let a state take care of daycare, and they should pay for it, too. They should pay. They have to raise their taxes, but they should pay for it. And we could lower our taxes a little bit to them to make up for, but it's not possible for us to take care of daycare. Medicaid, Medicare, all these individual things, they can do it on a state basis. You can't do it on a federal. We have to take care of one thing, military protection. Okay. Because the United States can't.
So I guess we're buying condoms for the military. Why don't we just do that? I watched a stand-up from Alex Stein. Alex Stein, congratulations to Alex. for joining the list of people fired by Blaze TV. Give me a round of applause for that, please. Thank you very much. Welcome, Alex Stein. He got a job at Rav. Shout out to Rav. They've been doing a good job with late night stuff. He did a stand-up and he said, we should send all transgenders to the front lines because they're good at killing kids. And our military likes to kill kids. It's kind of funny, actually, when you think about it. But Trump said it right there. The reason why you don't have nice things is because of two reasons, okay? It's because of war and immigrants. That's why you don't have nice things. I love it. My favorite thing is when a socialist comes to me and says, but socialism works in Sweden. And I go, yeah, I do support socialism in Sweden. When it was Swedish, how's it going now? Olag? No, Bjorn? How's it going now? Bjorn Stefanoffen or whatever. I don't even know what language this is. How's it going? Just the other day, White Pill, the German government, after seeing the AfD rise in the polls in the western part of Germany this last election, we were spending some time with the UN delegation. I was with the president of Romania. Isn't that weird? The Romanians love us. We are loved in Cluj. We are loved in
Croatia.
We are loved in Croatia. The Eastern Europeans support what we do. And what happened to us Western Europeans? Holy shit, man. We used to be Nazis and stuff. And now the Slav monkeys are doing better jobs at us at being Western European than we are. That's not cool. Serbia is kind of a shithole, but at the same time, great place to hide if you had someone's car stolen. But I will say, it is interesting because Serbia, they're more protective of their borders than we are. What does that say? We bombed Serbia, and it's like, did they deserve bombings? Did they deserve that? Did white people deserve to be bombed? And I know the Wignats, they're not white. They're fucking white, dude. They have white skin, okay? They're white people. They're just a little bit different. They got a little Eurasian mix right in them. But, it is because of war that we cannot have nice things. And we should have socialism in a way that there should be, if they're going to tax us at the rate they do, we should be able to help our own people. But at this point, we're not helping ourselves. We're not helping our people. We're letting the old people die. It's sad. I just met a girl who had to get out of life insurance. Ben did, actually, because they are rejecting everybody's claims. You can't even get insurance and get paid out at the end. Because why? Because we need to kill brown people. I repeat, if you are an American, raise your right hand and say, I solemnly swear that my tax dollars, this is so depressing. Ready for this? Mm-hmm. You're gonna be at the end of your life and you're gonna say your Pledge of Allegiance. You're gonna say, I solemnly swear to send my money to Israel and to bomb their enemies. And then you're gonna pay taxes for 50 years or whatever it is when you retire. And you're gonna go to Disney World with one of our congressmen, who's not gay, by the way, but had a pink wand in his hand, a little bubble machine, very cute.
Graham?
Yeah, oh yeah, Lindsey Graham.
Yeah, what was that?
That was weird.
He's chasing around little kids with a bubble wand.
Yeah, and then he put up a picture with a gun the next day.
He's polling at 50% in his state when Paul Dans should be winning. What's that?
Yeah, Paul Dans. Shout out Paul Dans.
We'll have him on the show at some point. But I want to touch on the clips. So we just played two opposing clips that totally contradicted each other. Rubio is telling Iran that they shouldn't spend money on war anymore and they should invest in their own country. And Trump is saying the opposite. He's saying, we can't pay for daycare or healthcare because we need to pay for this war.
Can you put me full screen and then in the split? Can you move me over to more in the center on the two split? You can do that while we're here.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play a clip in a second of Pam Bondi being fired. But I'm gonna say this: at the end of your tenure of paying taxes, you didn't even buy a Patriot missile. Okay. You didn't even buy one Patriot missile. You're not even a Patriot missile deep. You bought 1/4 of a Patriot missile if you're on the average salary here. You maybe spent $500,000, $800,000 on taxes. You didn't even buy one. And they're giving them away. They're leaving them. They're lost them. One of the camps here lost a Patriot missile. Your entire life you paid for a part of one missile. And they're launching sometimes dozens to hundreds of those a day. Isn't that crazy?
Say that again. It's your entire life pays for one missile.
Yeah,
your entire life of taxes is one Tomahawk missile.
No, not even a Tomahawk.
It's less.
You're not even close. There's like 3 people's full lifetimes to pay for one missile. That's why they need more people here to pay more taxes. Yeah. That's true. But check this out. So everyone's favorite, we had Monica Lewinsky in the 90s. Then we got Pam Bondi, good old Pam Bondi, who released the Epstein files. Check this out. Fox News. We love Fox News. Fair and balanced. Fox News said this. Breaking news. Breaking. And breaking doesn't mean anything anymore. Everything's breaking.
Yeah.
President Trump has reportedly already fired Attorney General Pam Bondi. 2 sources familiar with the matter told Fox News Digital. Bondi met with Trump in the Oval Office on Wednesday night ahead of his speech to the nation on the war with Iran. With a Gluck 3000, Yeah, I don't know when they met. That's interesting. I want to meet Pam Bondi. All of us want to meet her, actually. We should all meet her at the same time. Yeah. Bonnie Blue's got nothing on Pam. Where she was reportedly informed of her ousting, sources said. Now, the president is reportedly considering replacing Bondi with EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin, sources added, and we'll talk about the new Attorney General in a second.
That was her second in command, right?
Yeah, and I love, Fox is so mean for this. They did not airbrush her picture. They just put the bags under her eyes, and she was up late. And, man, it's looking rough, Pam. And I understand. Life is rough, and I'm not talking any shit on it. I mean, believe it or not, my life has been very, very easy the last few months. So I have some eye bags too. But we're putting back on, we're putting back on the weight. We're putting back on the muscle. We're bulking up a little bit. Then we'll red a true tide our way down into twinkdom. Okay, that's what we're doing. So she got fired. So you think, okay, well, this is probably a good thing. Remember, Pam Bondi said she had the files on her desk. She said that, we had hundreds of hours, I think, of tapes of children being abused. And, the Duggar family was like, release them. No, I'm kidding. That was a very mean point there. But they're like, let's look at what kids being abused. I still don't know whether the Duggars hard drives or Pam Bondi have more abuse of children on them today. Poor parents there. That's just a reminder that whole fake morality of Protestantism, like you detach from the world and you just like act weird. You are a human being and you have base impulses and sins and temptations. And just because you don't drink or smoke and you wear khaki pants tucked in does not mean that you're immune from like doing nasty things and hidden. That's why I live my life on blast. People think I'm worse than I am because I'm very open about my degeneracy in my life and my past. And fuck all of you guys. Like I mentioned last time, it's like I came back to the Orthodox Church. Pam, come to the Orthodox Church. And people are slamming me for things I did before I came to the church. That's not nice. That's not how Christianity works. You're all hypocrites. But
so true.
Pam Bondi it's kind of interesting. So was she fired over the cover-up of Epstein? I don't know. That's what people were saying. We're gonna find out. Listen to this.
So who gave the order to flag records related to President Trump?
To flag records for President Trump?
To flag any records which included his name.
I'm not going to discuss anything about that with you, Senator.
Eventually, you're going to have to answer for your conduct in this. And you won't do it today, but eventually you will. I yield, Mr. Chairman.
All right. So you would think, okay, Pam Bondi mishandled the Epstein files, so she's obviously going to be held accountable. Guess how she got held accountable? We'll talk about her getting fired first. She got a brand new private sector job that apparently pays over $500,000 a year. I might be wrong on the salary. They fail upward. And we used to say that about the left only. You'd get kicked out of the government and you get a teaching tenure at Harvard or something for $400,000 a year. And so we used to say the left fails upward. That's what they do. You're David Hogg. You weren't even at the school. You were on your bike, allegedly. And then you become the guns right activist, even though you weren't even there. You know what I'd like to hear about school shootings from the families of the kids that died, okay? That's what I'd like to hear from, of how it impacted them. Talk about Austin Metcalf's father and some killings recently. Somebody needs to come out and say
something interesting about the Pam Bondi thing. So she supposedly, according to that tweet, if you scroll up here, apparently she had a hearing on the 14th of April that she was going to be testifying under oath regarding the Epstein investigation. Ooh. It's very funny that she gets fired now before that hearing. So it's I haven't really heard anybody talk about this yet, but there's some speculation that perhaps she got fired to cover up the Epstein files.
Really? Mm-hmm. On my birthday, too, April 14th.
On your birthday.
On my birthday, they're getting rid of pedophiles. I gotta go to Serbia. All right, jokes aside. These people are so fucked up. Everyone calls everyone a pedophile. What's kind of crazy is everybody who's not a pedophile gets called a pedophile. And then pedophiles get called Attorney General and President, I don't know if I like that. Well, as we go down here, it actually turns out that Pam Bondi was fired because she allegedly leaked information to Eric Swalwell about investigations into him with Thang Thang. And, we talked a little bit about the fact that Asians have a fetish for licking men's nipples. Not that I know about that, but I have friends who are into that. And they say they all do that, okay? A very important fact here. So I only say that because Eric Swalwell, who's a nipple licker, okay? He likes his nipples licked. Okay, no judgment. We don't kink shame on the show. He's getting information from Pam Bondi. And that just shows you the Republicans and Democrats are working together. And further reminds me that, look, Pam Bondi was MAGA 2 weeks ago, and they're working with the Democrats. We're calling them the Republicrats or the Demublicans. We don't really know.
This all might be part of the plan.
Well,
allegedly she was begging for her job, though. I did hear that.
Really?
She was begging Trump right before to not fire her. I don't know who said that, but Some news source, one of them.
Okay, real fast. Let me go to my bookmarks because I saved something very important here that I want to go over. Okay, yeah. So this guy, who's got a great account, by the way, I don't know how to pronounce it. Antonis? Is that Greek? What is that? I don't know what that is. So we got a new Attorney General, Blanche. You're like, good. I'm glad he's not working with the opposition. Well, here he is at a lunch meeting recently with Katie Collins from CNN in Palm Beach. Not an on-the-record meeting. This is a just lunch date. Okay, so apparently he's into transgenders as well. Love...
What is that?
Yeah, what the hell is this? Look at this.
All transgenders are into transgenders.
So he's meeting with the opposition. These are traitors. These are evil people. These are absolutely diabolical individuals. And they hate you and they hate your kids. Unless your kids die in the Middle East, then your kids are American heroes, okay? Now, you know things are bad, as I mentioned on the last show. Everybody knows Lady MAGA, America's heart child, 6'11". What was that? Did you see Lady MAGA in go-go boots at CPAC? What was that?
Yeah,
that was crazy.
Had a big crowd too. Everyone was infatuated.
Yeah,
totally took over CPAC.
Look, and I'm not talking crap on Lady MAGA because you know Lady MAGA is very racist. Are we accepting racist drag queens? I don't think so. But I will say, I walked past Lady MAGA, and he was like, his name's Ryan, right? I don't know if he wants to be doxxed, but whatever. His name's Ryan. So like, yo, what's up, Ryan? How you doing, chud? Nice go-go boots, nigga. Now it's like, hello. As I say hi to everybody when I walk past them. And he was like, my nephews just got deployed. Fuck this administration. Lady MAGA, and I don't want to say much more, but Lady MAGA was like, this administration, the lady himself, go-go boot queen, Lady MAGA, is not happy with the Iran war. So that's not good. That's why Trump fell for the 100% approval rate. That was a troll. And everyone ate it up. You got cat turd. Like, what the fuck is that? You know, Gunther Eagleman, these accounts, you know, the same people that push the Sodagate stuff are out there like, you know, we really got to make sure that, you know, we can get Mexicans free soda. And you're like, oh my gosh, I remember that. So you had that situation, and then you go through the line and you got Lady MAGA's mad at MAGA. So, you know, you got boy MAGA Trump and Lady MAGA Ryan. Now, I don't know where I stand on this, but this is a very interesting position. Now, speaking of that, they're going through a lot of firings because MAGA now is whatever Trump wants MAGA to be, right? MAGA was his base. It was his policies. It was when he said that the Mexicans are not sending their best, you know, some of which might be good people. And we were like, yes, because we know that. We love Gustavo, and we love how he cuts the weeds in front of our house. Everybody loves his son, Chunti, you know? And, you know, they always call him, what they call it, like gigante, and he's like a small guy. And, you know, Mexicans always call people by the opposite of what they are, you know? Like, they call him like tiny. They call fat people tiny. Hey, tiny. Hey, olale, tiny. Well, he's clearing out the shit. And basically anyone who's not pro-Iran war, like our friend here, Tulsi Gabbard, who, by the way, ran on No New Wars originally in her position, and she also sold a shirt, No More War in Iran. What happened? Well, I think she probably still holds that idea, and she's in a tough situation. Everybody's been there. The way I look at government, I'm gonna tell you guys this, as someone who has NDAs, who could blow the lid off of a lot of people. You know, I have people calling me in the last few days and telling me things. Go ahead, fucking blackmail me, talk shit on me, tell people anything. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I'm not answering my phone for anybody now. If you didn't support me, if you did not give undying loyalty, I'm about to go get vindicated in courts right now, and I will get cleared. But if you were not loyal in the process, if you were not by my side, you're out. Okay. And it's not my fault. If people are talking shit on you or spreading rumors or saying anything, I'm not going to defend you. Go get fucked. I'm out. Okay. And that's sort of what politics is like. It's like you're either in or you're out. And so she's up there and she's scared. Think of it like an NDA without being signed. It's like you really can't counter your senior level, you know, it's like the military. You can't counter your senior level officer. So she's kind of been like, well, I guess we need to just do what Trump says. Well, Polymarket has put out an ad here saying that Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard is projected to be removed with a 67% chance, right? Yeah. That was a quick clap.
There we go.
Hey, by the way, whoever left my vape with 0% juice, please die. Yes, please. Oh shit. Okay.
That was a close one.
Vapes, kids, don't vape. Don't vape. Vapes are bad. I don't even like vaping. It's like you have this little gay battery, and you're like, I love my goy juice. You know what I mean? You're like a
Chinese goy juice.
You're like an Auschwitz smokestack built in 1971 for tourists.
In Minecraft.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Recreate it. You too. You know, I love that they made an Auschwitz Lego set. There was no smokestacks or crematorium, but they had to upgrade. 3 years later, you could add the smokestacks. You know what I mean? like the real thing. Like the real thing. Well, this one's interesting. Everybody knows I'm being sued by country music sensation, pop star, Alexis Wilkins, who, by the way, I got to be careful. I'm not allowed to say anything, but she's got ideas of grandeur. Okay. She's using government money, security, resources, air travel. Okay. And the worst offense is she's with an Indian. To this day, I'll never understand it. Okay. I will never understand that. I'm going to start asking girls. Do you always ask girls that question? Do you always ask them the question? Have you ever been with her?
I don't talk to women.
No.
At all, actually.
I guess my biggest crime is I've talked to too many.
Yeah.
But I shouldn't have. It is wrong. It is wrong. However, you ask them, like, hey, so have you ever black guy,
Yeah.
And then they say yes. And you're like, okay.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah.
Okay. That's like literally being like, oh yeah. It's like, okay, not that there's anything wrong with that. Just not for me.
Except for there is.
No, there's not. It's completely legal. Just like abortion.
Yeah.
But that's not for me. Just to clarify that, guys, I've never had an abortion personally because I can't get pregnant, but also I've never had anyone get an abortion. I would never. We have Aryan genes. I'll never get an abortion. I want more children. I actually want 3 more kids. And now's not a time for women in my life, though. I've got a few things to take care of. But in maybe a year, if you want to have more children and you have Aryan genes, drop a DM, please, because I would like more blue-eyed, blonde-haired Aryans. And for those of you guys that are going to talk shit, I'm not going to get into any of this, but I am about to get about to see my babies. So hello to my babies. I miss you and I love you, and I'm sorry that life is crazy, but unfortunately it is crazy. And I'll see you soon. I love you guys. That being said, it is interesting in the midst of this. That's like, hey, I just think that you're with an Indian. That's very weird. But Polymarket.
So this isn't out on Twitter yet.
No, it's not out on Twitter.
For some reason,
so it doesn't exist yet.
Hasn't posted it. But his percentages are very high too. The chances that he's out by June 30th are 65%. It was 60% when I woke up this morning, so it's gone up 5%.
Wow.
Since the morning. So he's out.
Yeah,
probably.
he needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? That's not good for me because then they're going to be broke. And they're going to need my $5 million. By the way, just to remind you guys, I do not have $5 million. Okay. But they want my social media profiles. They want these. They think this show and this stuff is so valuable. We have such a small platform right now, but they think it's so valuable that if I lose I go to trial in September in the federal court in Palm Beach. It's a federal case against Kash Patel's lawyers for sharing a wordless reply. If you're new to the show, you don't know that. I shared a publicly posted picture of Kash Patel, who happened to be with Alexis, in response to someone talking about honeypots. And then you go, why would you share that? Look, I don't even know why I shared it. I got to remember. I'll remember in court why I shared it. But I'll tell you this: Eric Swalwell was with a spy, and Pam, and then the new AG Pam Bondi was colluding with him. So there's a lot of weird compromising stuff. That does not mean that I think that Alexis Wilkins was a spy or anything. Of course not. There is nothing Jewish about suing podcasters for millions of dollars for showing a public picture of you. There's nothing Jewish about spreading fake news on X about there's some foreign operation she claimed I'm a part of and that we're all a part of, that we're being paid by some government or Russian campaign to. That's the new thing. Did you hear about that? Did you see that thread? It went viral. Laura Loomer shared it, so you know it's true. Once Laura Loomer shares it, it's true. At least it is because Trump is the truth and Trump is MAGA, and Trump listens to everything Laura Loomer says. And so Laura Loomer said it's true.
Mm-hmm. Must be.
But you know what? I want to say this too, by the way, because Laura does watch everything about her. I have never had a problem with Laura Loomer. I've always liked her as a person. Not her politics. She's a firecracker. She's a wild one. But what was up with this switch up? She just texted me randomly one day and was just basically like, fuck you. A lot of girls tell me that recently. Not good. But she's just like, fuck you, and I'm going to follow you on everything. I'm like, what did I do? And she was like, I don't hate you. I just hate the people you're friends with. And I'm like, I hate them too. Actually. So it's actually not good. One of the people that she wanted me to stop being friends with recently came against me privately. And I have the Laura Loomer card. I could be friends with Laura Loomer's because Laura Loomer is one of those friends where like, if her enemies hate you, she'll love you. She's a real political artist. She is an artist. And I'm going to say that to her real fast. Laura Loomer is one of the most talented political operatives that exists today. And I mean that genuinely. I don't disagree with all of her shit she's saying. But like, dude, she just like switched over to the Indian lobby. Did you see that? Did you watch that clip?
The Indian? I haven't, no.
Are you serious?
Yeah, the Indian lobby.
She literally, she went and got like engaged at the Taj Mahal and was like, India's my favorite country.
No, I hadn't. I missed that.
You didn't, dude. You didn't see this where they did a struggle session with her.
Okay,
like
yeah,
Jews, like Jews do.
Whoa.
Yeah, look at this.
You made a statement. If Kamala Harris wins, the White House will smell like curry, and speeches will be facilitated via a call center. You then went on to say our country was built by white Europeans, not third world invaders from India. I think you should do more than just express regret. From what I can see, you're brazenly racist and Islamophobic. And I'm sorry to say that we have Atiti Devo Bhava in this country where we welcome all, but your comments smack of anti-Indianism, worse still, Islamophobia, and even worse, racism, which has no place, ma'am, in today's world. So get real, ma'am. Sorry to say that, but that comments are unacceptable to me as an Indian and as a world citizen.
Okay, world fans, and as a world citizen, dude, there's no world citizenry, buddy. Okay, secondly, why you can't take Indians seriously with that accent?
No.
What do you mean? You can take me seriously? Hey, I'm just asking you to move out of the way. I'm trying to buy something I don't need at Costco. Could you move your 19 children and your fat grandma out of the fucking aisle so I can buy some knives that I don't need, okay? Thank you. Welcome to America. All right? I am trying to waste my paycheck. You know, guys give white women a lot of shit for wasting their money at Target. You ever seen a white nigga in Costco? Yeah. We waste all our money there too. And they got smart. They didn't used to do this. Like, what if we put alcohol in there as well? Giant bottles of alcohol next to a bow and arrow set. Well, this is cool. There's a bow and arrow set next to some vodka. I've never drank in my life. Everybody knows that. Mm-hmm. Never have. But I have shot a few bow and arrows. I've shot my bow and arrows into a few bullseyes in my life. Some of them got me in trouble. But we'll leave that one for the kid story hour with so that's JD Vance's wife.
What was she doing in India?
Exactly. This. Becoming a god, becoming a deity.
Oh, look at that. She ascended.
She
made it. Final form.
Let me see if I can find the actual. These are all the same clip. Let me see if I can find. Where is her actual interview? Because
I don't know.
She actually, like, there she is. That's Photoshop, but that was a real picture of the Taj Mahal. But she is, dude, people are actually really brutal. Let me see. Let me go back here real fast. Let me see if this is it. Here it is.
And Islamophobic. And I'm
why is everyone playing the same? I want the clip of her talking about India as like one of her favorite. Everything about her is a lie. Okay, I don't like people lying about people on the internet. Okay, Laura Loomer. Oh yeah, here it is. Here, watch the beginning of this. Check this out. Laura Loomer went to the Indian lobby, and that's just crazy to me. You don't have to go to India to become an Indian lobby. Just go to the Frisco City Hall town meeting, and it is literally smells like Dagjit curry.
Go to the In-N-Out.
Yeah, go to the In-N-Out and watch them order grilled cheeses.
Or Costco.
At Costco.
I just spoke to President Trump on the phone about an hour or so ago, actually, and I wanted to read you exactly what he said to me. He said, "I love India. Please let them know I love India, I love Modi, and I love the Indian people." He said, "Prime Minister Modi is a fantastic leader and a good friend of mine, and please let the people of India know that I will be coming to India someday soon for another visit." Yeah.
And by India, he meant Frisco, Plano. He's coming to North Texas, which is now more Indian than India. Okay?
Well, it's good that he loves Indians so much while he seems to hate us. You know,
he hates us. He hates the white base.
He's taking away daycare and he's taking away health care so he can pay for Iran, but it's a good thing he loves India. Thank God for that.
Real happy about that.
Really
happy about that. All right. Super happy about that. By the way, happy tonight. Our numbers are already up by like 30% from the night before. We'll go up about 6 months.
We're here every night, everybody.
Every night.
9 p.m. Monday through Saturday, actually. It's a full schedule every single week.
But Saturdays are just for culture.
Yeah,
just for culture.
For the culture, for the boys.
They're just for the boys, okay?
That's right.
And I'm not saying that people are going, I'm not saying our guests, I'm going to get them drunk before they get on air. But I'll just say they might
But
be.
I will.
Yeah, but he might. So that's part of the fun. Also, some of you have been asking a little bit about something interesting about my appearance. Why did you put on a shirt today. So I put on a shirt because I wear shirts. And that's where we're at. So that's interesting. You guys all noticed I was wearing a shirt today. Good to know. There was a shirtless picture going around for a while. Someone said because he likes people to see his muscles or something. It's like, guys, it's retatrutide. That is the secret. That is the secret is peptides. Those are the secrets.
We're all on it. Get on it.
I'm not on it right now. I'm putting on some muscles.
He's not. I am.
I am not on that. All right.
It's fantastic.
Switching subjects here away from the boring ass government. Oh, yucky. The federal government. You ever smell your armpits, but you're not smelling them, but you just like get a whiff and you're like, ugh, and like you realize you need deodorant? That's how it feels. That's how it feels talking about the federal government. It just doesn't smell good. Kind of crazy. Austin Metcalf, you guys remember him? I'll put this on the screen. You guys know Austin Metcalf and Carmelo Anthony. Austin Metcalf is the one that looks like a human. And sorry, it's not funny. Okay. One of these people is dead, and it's not the one that I picked for my fantasy football team, okay? I was hoping it was a different one. And he's not even in jail, the guy who killed him. That's what's crazy that came out today. He's actually, not only his family raised a lot of money and bought a new Cadillac Escalade with it, which is the most black thing I've ever heard in my life, outside of their son murdering a white person. Shout out to the based blacks that watch this show. We do love you. But could you talk to your people and do something about it? Could you
put them in check, please?
Could you just say 3 things? Stop. Shh. Shoo. Shh.
Check your homies.
Yeah, go away.
Check your homies today.
Isn't it crazy that the entire real estate market of private homes is all about how far you can live away from people named Carmelo Anthony? It's like, and so you know what we did in Florida? Notice one of our interns here, he. I was like, hey man, I asked my real estate agent, I'm like, hey, I don't want to live around Carmelo Anthony's, you know? I don't want to live around people that are going to stab my kids. And she was like, what do you mean? And I was like, you know what I mean? She's like, we're not allowed to tell you that. And I found out that there's a law that real estate agents are not allowed to tell you the racial demographics of an area. They put laws in to force white people to get killed, okay? This is genocide.
Who did that?
Yeah. Who owns the real estate market? Interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, very interesting. But she was like, I can't tell you that. So then Noticer was like, check out this crime map. You can basically just look at areas that are dark green, and that's where those Carmelo Anthonys don't live. The problem with places like Florida, though, is that, you know, you could be living in a several $1 million house on the water, and then the next street over, Carmelo Anthony has a bop house. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
Someone made a great map for it, though. I forget who. Do you remember that? They it was on Twitter everywhere. They made a map that shows you it's like how many KFCs are in an area.
Popeyes,
KFC, how many yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of different metrics.
God bless. There's a really cool black guy that fixed one of my cars recently. My ex-wife crashed her car into a mailbox and like almost totaled the back end. And he told me he would just fix it for like a decent price. My friend. So there's cool black people out there. But I'm not gonna lie, I almost busted up because there's a couple of these big ladies in the front. I have no problem with black people. Okay, black people love me. They love the show. Black people are my biggest fans, actually. As my dad says, black people were my first fans. They will be my last as well, unfortunately, when I meet the wrong one. But I walked in and they were all eating fried chicken on the bone. Why? You know what? What is that? Why is it they like it on the bone and we like it boneless? Why do the black people like boned chicken? I never knew that. That's a good question. And they throw the chicken bones on the floor and you find them. We should make a map by how many grocery carts are in the neighborhood and how many chicken bones you find on the way to bed. It's like Hansel and Gretel, but you follow the chicken bones back to the grocery cart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Well, Austin Metcalf is still dead. Update. Still murdered. His dad's still gay. But we decided to see, look, we don't want his memory to go anywhere. And we thought we were going to show up today on the anniversary. There's going to be reporters, that there was going to be like, you know, press. Nobody was there.
It was totally empty.
Towards the end of school, nobody was there. Obviously, during school, you're not going to have reporters on property. Thank you, ChatGPT. You're not going to have reporters on property. But this is down the street from our studio. And this is where he was killed. And we just gave a little update here. Check this out.
Anniversary of the brutal murder of high school student Austin Metcalf here at Memorial High School in Frisco ISD, Texas. This is America's heartland, a place where you expect your children to be safe. The average home prices are now about $1.4 million. But there's one problem that his family did not predict. That was a black student, Carmelo Anthony, being present at the track meet. Now, because school grounds are not public property and There are minors currently in school. We're not going to go ahead and step foot on the campus itself, but we're here at the high school, and it's a very nice place to live. Why is it that America could be the nicest place to live? Everything's here, from malls to movie theaters. But there's one problem that we have in this country, is that our politicians want us to all live together with people who hate us. White Americans made a country for white Americans that we all lived in, that we all enjoyed, that we could all experience. We shared the same Christian faith. We shared the same love for God. And our disagreements were over things like whether you were Anglican or Catholic or Protestant. And we were talking about things like whether or not your son kissed Mary Sue at school and whether he should have gotten away with it. And now, what happened now? You send your kids to an expensive school, you work hard, move into $1 million house, you have a bright future ahead of him, he's a track star, but because they don't want to be racist, you have to live around Carmelo Anthony's. And your son is now dead. And that's the story of thousands of Americans. Millions of us are just trying to live, what? So we don't have to live next to Carmelo Anthony's or their family. And I'm going to tell you this. He's out of prison right now. Do you know that? They let that, I won't say the word, but they let him walk free. Murderer. They let the murderer, the M-word, I hate the M-word, they let that murderer walk free. He's out right now in house arrest, and his trial's on June 1st. And I just wanted to remind people of this. Don't forget the face and the name of Austin Metcalf, a martyr in this racialized war that has been pushed upon us in this country to force us to accept Indians and Hispanics, like Myra Flores saying, you know, we're going to replace the whites. These black Americans, many of which should be in prison, we're forced to live in a world where our children die at this random boomer experimental project of multiculturalism, multi-ethnicism. And look, I'm not saying racism's the answer for it. I'm not saying that I hate everybody because they don't look like you. But guys, the Tower of Babel to today, humans who do not look like you usually do not act like you. And when they don't act like you can't predict what they're going to do next. And the chances are, whether it's scams in healthcare, from the Indians to restaurants that cook food that you don't like to eat, grocery stores replacing the place that you eat, and the foods that you don't like, down to the very safety of your children. America is not a safer, freer, or better nation when we became less white. And it takes a Jewish mayor to get a mural erased of Irina Zarutska. These people hate you. They hate your history, and your deaths are controversial to them because it reminds the white man of what they stole from us. God bless Austin Metcalf's soul. May he be laid to rest. His dad, not a fan, kind of pussied out there. But to his mom and to his brother, America's heart's with you. To Irina Zarutska, to the rest of those who are in pain, just know that the white man won't be silent much longer. And we're going to be speaking up for our people. And there's nothing wrong with being proud of building the modern world. Watch our show Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. Central on Rumble, YouTube, and X if you agree with these statements. And please, please keep the memory of Austin Metcalf alive. Share a tweet, share this video, and remind people.
Yeah, remind people. We're not going to forget. Now, his trial is on, Carmelo Anthony's trial is on June 1st. And everybody knows my background is in investigative journalism, and we will be covering the trial. We will be covering it. Probably only do a once-a-week update, or when there's important proceedings, we'll be there. We'll have somebody inside the place. And a lot of you are asking, how are you affording this? How'd you afford this studio? How are you affording all of this stuff? That's a good question. It's called fraud. You just essentially you start a medical facility. A lot of people watch Nick Shirley and they freak out. I go, it's a how-to manual for me. Right. So we basically applied for these SBA loans, open up a medical facility. We just kill the patients with saline, and we bill the government for money. No, wait, I'm sorry. That's what they're doing during COVID. Hold up.
And we launder it all through locals.com.
Yeah.
ElijahSchaefer.locals.com.
Yeah, that's what we do. It's a really good, thank the Uzbekis. You haven't heard that one in a long time. Thank the Uzbekis, the Pakistanis, and the Indians for teaching us how to launder and defraud old people who are dying. It's a really, really great thing to have in our country. Can we get more of that, please? Oh yeah, Trump is bringing in more of that. Shout out to Bangladesh, Bangladoria down. It used to be called Australia, just like used to have Rhodesia, that became Zimbabwe. Guys, our countries are gone. By 2050, I don't think Australia will be here anymore. And their Prime Minister Albanese said, "We're not going to bring back the White Australia policy. We're not going to bring back any of these things. The country, listen, if you want our country to look like what it looked like 75 years ago, that's never going to happen. We are going to have Indians and Vietnamese and Chinese, and you're like, hey, you're going to jail, my nigga. We're going to get you. I'm just kidding. I already can't get back into the country. I'm joking, by the way. We're not going to get, I love you, Albanese. Let me in. It's me. Let me in, please. I need help. I am working actually with the Senate there to get back into the country. I might be able to get back in after March. Speaking of that, before I go to the Irina Zarutska thing, Joel Davis is out of jail. And look, I know opinions on Joel Davis in American politics are suspect at best. But just like Georgia here was talking to somebody who was counter-signaling us, like, hey, look, your views are aligned. I don't counter-signal Joel. I know my colleagues do. I don't, because I know Australia is a very different landscape. It's a very different type of place. And they're far behind us. You know, they're like where we were during Charlottesville. Like, that's kind of where they're at right now. And Charlottesville didn't work for us. By the way, I want to breaking news. Charlottesville didn't have the effect that the people wanted, okay? The tiki torches, the sales went way down on those, all right, after that. That was not a good marketing strategy for Tiki Torches Incorporated. But, you know, some of this stuff isn't great. By the way, that guy who did not kill that girl that day should be released from prison, but we'll talk about that later. Race wars, let's make it happen in Minecraft. One of the cool things is that I have the ability here to smoke occasionally in the studio, which is a first. And I do like smoking. You can hear it from my voice. I'm starting to sound like Hannah Montana. You know, she's like, one day she's like, talks like a girl. The next day she's like, welcome back. She's like that little like a squid thing on a chocolate.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the 20-year anniversary.
Hello, Joe Rogan. It's good to be here, Joe Rogan.
We have a potential new cigar sponsor.
She can still sing, though. She can still sing.
I like her. If you're a white guy and you don't like Miley Cyrus, are you really white?
Did you see the Hannah Montana anniversary documentary?
Well, I'm not that gay.
Oh, well, it wasn't good, so it's okay.
Did you watch the Bonnie Blue documentary?
Who hasn't?
Exactly. It's actually good, guys. It's really, you should watch it with your family.
Yeah.
Watch it with your parents.
It's a family affair.
Please watch it with your parents. Mm-hmm. Not with your kids.
Not with your children.
But watch it with your dad. It's going to be great. Your dad with your mom present, okay? I tried to bring my mom to watch, but she's, unfortunately, unlike Awesome Meth Cow, she's still dead too, so it didn't work. It's dark. Very dark. And people have asked the question, why? Because we're having fun with this. Back, people that don't know me from Slightly Offensive, we just used to have fun. We used to just dress up all the time. Now we're just dressing up. And I brought my hair back because this is how it started. So it's kind of like the beginning and the last version. And if this version doesn't work out, we'll build another studio in another state and we'll keep this going. To clarify, I didn't want to move to Texas. Okay. I always told people I didn't like Texas. I'm starting to like it now though, because it's cheap. Mm-hmm. We're like in a mansion and we're paying less than half of what I paid for a townhouse in Florida. That's not a joke. It's really not a joke. Guys, move. And we've created, if you want to intern for us, do you have an email now or no? Not yet.
I don't have a company one.
Go to message ea@rifftv.com if you're interested in writing or interning for us. And we are possibly...
Well, contact me on Twitter. My handle is Sith Lord Groiper. I'll put it up on the screen.
Yeah, but sometimes emails... Yes, okay, sure. You can do that too.
That's how some people are doing it. If you have like Twitter articles, a lot of the Groipers are already on it. So there's plenty of room. We need writers every day. We'd like to have at least, 3-4 articles a day on the website. So
and we're making a kind of a partnership with National File and some other publications, including Debatable and some of these other publications. So we're going to be growing our network. And we are considering doing short-term internship programs in the summer. You will need to be at least 18 years or older to apply. And we are only doing male interns, kind of like Tim Pool does. You can just kind of like probably like a 30-day internship or something like that. Move into the studio. You get free food. You don't get paid, but we'll feed you. And you can find out what the Twink Dungeon's all about. We're not beating the allegations. Like, hey, if you're 18, you want to move into my house? I got a free bed.
We are never beating the
allegations. It's in my room.
Those allegations are sticking, I think.
Well, the reason why the allegations are... You can't do that if the allegations are true. You can only do that if they're not true.
That's true.
That's like the only reason why we have fun with it is because it's like...
No one can ever say anything.
By the way, at CPAC, which we'll talk about the article from CPAC in a second after this Irina Zarutska thing, no matter what I do, I take a picture with my friends, and everyone was like, let me put up the picture here. This is actually something very funny, because I got to show the photo. So everyone's like, I put up just a normal picture from the event, We're just driving to the event. See this? Put up a normal picture. 202,000 views and almost 200 comments, only 400 likes. And everyone's like, you got a new car of twinks.
They called me a twink.
And it's like, these are, look, I'm just going to say this. I'm not going to blast anybody's life, but like one of these guys in the back has a kid older than my oldest kid, okay? And the other one is Georgie. But we're not going to blast anyone.
Well, 26-year-old Navy veteran, by the way. They're calling me a, I think in the comments, he's hanging out with 2 vulnerable young boys. It's like,
yeah, that's what he said. 2 vulnerable young boys. Hey, I would be doing that if I was based, but I'm not that based, okay? No, but it's like, it's the most stupid shit I've ever heard in my life. Now, the guy who started that original, like, pedophile accusation, which is, you made it. Once you get the pedo accusation, you've made it. Because it's like, if you really were a pedophile, they would just go to the police or call I Fight for Kids. And you get this big dude show up. He's like, hey, is this your penis to a 12-year-old girl? No, it's a 12-year-old boy, sir. No, but she's trans. Respect her pronouns, please. That's how fucked up the world is, right? Like, oh, she's trans. Well, then okay. Well, then it's all okay. Because if they're transgender, laws don't apply. Am I right? No, but this guy started this thing. Because I was at this party at an old CPAC. Dude, I have the worst CPAC luck. Even this one, I have the worst luck at CPAC. Apparently, somebody was at a party. It's a 21 and older party, and they pretended to be a fan. And I said hello, or to them, or whatever. And then I said, "Oh, let me buy you a drink," because I think it was free drinks or something like that too. And apparently now I'm a pedophile because of that. Because the guy was like 19 or something like that. I don't know where this comes up. And then Ollie Alexander was there, and I think Ollie Alexander did get proven. Did he not? I think he is a fibophile, right? He was getting dick pics from teens, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. Now, he happened to be at the same party, allegedly. Everybody was there. Cernovich, everybody was there. But I get pegged for this stuff. And what I was going to say is, yeah, I know. What happens is what I'm saying about CPAC is, what you notice, though, and you'll see this as a trend with your favorite viewers, when you're retarded like Cat Turd, we just laugh at what they say because they're wrong a lot, right? The people who held up the Pam Bondi binders, they're wrong. They're liars. They're deceiving you. They're destructive. When it comes to people like myself, like Nick, like Myron, people don't really prove us wrong. But what they do is what they do, I'm 32 and I'm laughing at that. What they do is that they end up just talking shit on you, right? You get like, doing documentaries, how you're like, bad guy. Myron's bad because he's got one-way monogamy. I'm not going to repeat, rumors that Nick did this or Elijah Schaefer this. And it's like, pick a rumor, okay? With me, they always go forth from saying I like boys, and then it seems like every other week they're coming out with some new girl that they confirmed I slept with who's hot and is an e-girl. Not saying I did any of those things, but I'm saying I'm the worst twink gay pedophile that could have ever existed because the only evidence they have of my gayness is hot chicks coming out and being like, yep, oops, sorry. I think we're up to what, 67 now? I don't know. All I was going to say is it the internet's fun. You got to have fun with it. In this show, we're going to have a lot of fun with it. By the way, on Monday, a surprise guest is coming to visit us. From the Blaze Studios is coming to visit us, just so you know. And she's disabled, but she's coming to be on the show. Just stay tuned for that. All right. Moving along to the next topic here. No, all I was going to say from the CPAC thing is takeaway. I want to read the story in a second. But we got in the New York Times article. I don't even need to read. You can look it up if you want to. And essentially, they were fair to us. And it seemed like they were like understanding that, MAGA is dying with the boomers and the old Gen X, and we're kind of here to stay. Now, that being said, it's not White History Month, but check this out. Irina Zarutska, you guys remember her? Dude, I saw the dumbest tweet from a liberal. He's like, the only reason why people are upset about this is because she's hot. Yes. Okay. You're fat and you got stabbed. We just call that a cookout. You know what I mean? No, if she was fat, she wouldn't even have died. She would have bounced off, Only positivity. I watched a show recently, a true crime where a guy tried to murder a girl and he shot her in her stomach, like right here. And the reason why she didn't die is because the bullet stopped millimeters short of her liver and got lodged in her adipose tissue. She was that fat. But Irina Zarutska was murdered. It haunts me. That video haunts me. If you didn't look at this, it was in Charlotte, I think in North Carolina. She got stabbed by an Austin Metcalf. There's a lot of those around.
No.
Was it not? Was it on Charlotte?
She got stabbed by a Carmelo Anthony.
Oh, by Carmelo Anthony. Thank you.
Yeah.
If there was an Austin Metcalf there, then
she would have been alive today, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyways, she did. Sorry for that demonstrative mistake there. I'm just so used to the fact that we're all the same and there's no differences between us, and I can't tell the difference between Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. We're just so similar. We're just so alike. Humanity's just one race, the human race. I can't get over it. It's just so common to see some guy and they'll be like, hey, nigga, and it's like the white guy, and you're like, oh, shit. You know, my bad. You want to buy some weed and you have some Crown Royal afterwards? Dude,
and we're canceled again.
Dude, I actually saw this video. By the way, side note, he's getting canceled for it because he became Black Snape. Because, you know, Snape in the new Harry Potter series is black. His name's like BB DeWeeby. And he was like, it's the funniest thing. He's like, I got the leaked script for the new Harry Potter. He's like in blackface. And he's like, here's his lines. He's like, Crown Royalists, Chargerless. He's like going on. He's like Cushless. Everything's Cush, Crown Royal. Impala. I hope they do that. Yeah. Impala-ists. But yeah, they have a black guy. Now, a black guy killed her. So people want to memorialize her because you know what? She's a victim. And it is true. They killed one of our hot girls. It's very sad. It's a tragic story. And I think her dad couldn't get over here to bury her because he was like drafted into the Ukraine war. He couldn't leave because males couldn't leave. That's a true story, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, and you got this Jewish mayor of Providence is this guy. He's saying it doesn't, this mural doesn't represent the values of Providence. Who gets to decide that? And why is this guy doing it?
Well, unfortunately, for you, the Jews get to decide everything. Like that's a rhetorical question.
It's divisive. Well, what's divisive about it exactly? That it's going to cause people to wake up and see reality? Is that divisive?
Yeah,
I guess so, huh?
Well, everything's divisive that goes against their gay globalist agenda, and I mean that genuinely. We got to bring that back. It's like you just need to love living around blacks. It's not enough that you live with them. You got to love it, and when you die, you can't talk about it.
Yeah,
you know, and that's
the hard part. Retirement as well. Give them reparations. They deserve it.
I told you though, if I run for government, if you want to be an Indian and come here, you got to pay $250,000 or $500,000 for a visa, and it's going right into the pockets of black people. I don't know if we
mentioned this either, but Carmelo Anthony and the fella that killed Irina, they both walked free right after the incident. I think the one that killed Irina is now in jail, but Carmelo Anthony to this day is still in his house right now. He's in his house.
It's so sick. Mm-hmm. By the way, in our Discord, we'll be doing call-ins at the end here, along with super chats. If you want to join our Discord, you got to join locals first, or send a super chat. You can email EA at rifttv.com, or you get a screenshot and show your username and show that you sent a $10 or more super chat. You can get an invite. We do vet people in the Discord though, so if you think you're going to get in there and we're not going to ask, look at your last tweets and everything like that, to figure out if you're a plant or you're my brother or something like that, we are going to get you. Okay, you can't hide from our moderators. They are crazy racist people. Okay, they are really racist, but they love you. They're racist. We love our Discord mods. That being said, I really don't like the fact of having people who are Jewish tell me what's divisive in my country. Okay, you don't have a country. You never have had a country, and now you do have one. Go back. Why is it that everyone in our country who's not white, it's just only with non-white people, they just love their home country. The Mexicans, Mexican. A poll just came out. I don't know if it was a YouGov poll or what background, but it was like less than a third of Hispanics view themselves as American first. They view themselves as Mexican or Argentinian or Venezuelan. Mm-hmm. And there are more white people in Argentina at this point per capita than our country. But who went there? Forgot. What is this? What is that?
What is that?
Is that Hitler? Okay, but
that's the goal. That's the mission.
That's the mission. That's the point.
That's the point.
I don't know if anyone saw the SNL skit. Back when I was younger, people used to take their kids to church. Now they take them to movies called Sinners. That's the purpose. That's the point. That's the Tucker Carlson one. You got to watch that. But the point of this is like, I don't like the fact that you have people that are Jews that are so big on Israel. Israel. We love Israel. To all the Zionists out there, go move there, please. We should just start using tax dollars instead of sending it to Israel. We should have $3 billion of free tickets to relocate Zionists to Israel. I'd love for you to move there. Genuinely.
I agree.
Here is the Jewish guy on record saying that is this him or who is this? Oh, this is Representative David Morales. Oh, another non-white person telling us that the death of a white person does not represent the values of their city. That's interesting.
Ultimately, we want to make sure that every community member that calls Providence home feels safe, and we can both agree that this mural behind us does not reflect Providence's values, nor does it reflect the creativity that we want to see in our city. Ultimately, we want to make sure that every community member that calls Providence home feels
safe. Dude, this guy looks like
Notice how he said community members and not Americans. He said community members of Providence, not Americans.
A lot of them probably are not.
They're not, and he's not either.
Yeah, I know he's not. It's very weird what these people are doing. All right.
They don't care about us. They only care about themselves. And there's almost nothing wrong with that because they're choosing their own side. We just have yet to choose our own side the way that they're doing it. Seems like everyone understands this except for us. And when is enough enough? They're taking down a mural of a martyr of our ideology, our country.
It makes me sick, honestly.
Yeah.
It is disgusting. Now, that being said, I'm going to switch here. So, yeah, white people have not been doing well recently. I walked around a Frisco Target, and the only white people are fat and ugly. It's not good, okay? Some of us were born ugly. I've always said this, it's okay to be born ugly. I was born ugly. But, clavicular taught all of us. You don't have to stay that way, right?
We are all looks maxing.
You can all looks max. Some of us are just depressed and alone maxing. By the way, side note, if you ever get divorced, just a side note, move into a mansion with all of your friends and do cool shit.
Epicurus.
Do Epicurus lifestyle. Mm-hmm. It's actually a true thing because it's bad to be alone when you're depressed, even though that's your natural inclination. Because then you're just going to put on weight and you're going to end up depressed. Go do cool stuff. If you have time, do it. Okay. And sometimes when you're depressed, it's because you don't have a lot going on. It's because, you lost a job, you lost a family member. And when my mom died, I just drank alcohol and filmed black people destroying cities as a way to cope. It worked too. But now my mind is clear. You know what I mean? I don't even take prescription drugs anymore regularly or anything. I'll take some Advil or if I broke my leg, I might. But it's drinking is more for that thing that you do if you're at an event or you're with some friends or you want to do something fun. It's not something to do to cope with life. Hey, how you cope with life? Be racist. Make a podcast with your friends and binge watch Star Wars and BTFO people in court. No, it frees up a lot of time. And all I was going to say that to people, if you're going through a depressive state right now, I don't know what you've lost. I always define depression as is it when you fall down a hole and they remove the floor, right? It's like that scene in Spy Kids 3D or whatever that was when they fall into the hole.
Depression is it's a lack of purpose and you fulfilling your purpose. And what does purpose come from? It comes from doing something greater than yourself with your friends or alone. A lot of people look for it elsewhere. They chase women, they chase vices. None of these things will ever fill the hole in your heart. You need your friends and you need something to work on that's greater than yourself, ideally for your country.
Yeah. Screw those people who use vices.
Mm-hmm. So true.
Those chuds. It's true.
It is true.
I smoke a cigar. Okay. Smoke a cigar. Let's get into some economy stuff. I think it's kind of interesting, actually. So speaking of looks maxing, peptides are the new craze. If you don't know what peptides are, they're ways to unlock the Aryan supremacy in all of you. And you got retatrutide, which will be cleared, which is just a peptide, and it just makes you not hungry. It's pretty cool. So you just become a Chad overnight.
Yeah, if you're fat and you're not taking Reta, hop on today.
Yeah, hop on
it
today.
Make you feel sick, really, and you feel great. You're not eating, you're fasting. You get all the benefits of fasting.
Yeah, and
you don't even feel hungry.
BPC 157, I had shoulder pain for since I was 25 when I got my rotator cuff, and I just started injecting BPC 157. It went away in 2 months, 2 weeks, 2 months almost. It was 2 weeks to 2 months. The pain went away. I don't have shoulder pain anymore. Okay, I struggled with it over almost 10 years, 7, 8 years now, and it went away. This stuff works.
It looks like you have the tweet pulled up, actually. Yeah. So if you're worried about it, well, check this out. FDA is reportedly expected to lift restrictions on peptides. So you don't have to worry anymore. It's safe, everybody.
Well, and it always was safe, but all they're saying now is that people are spending a lot of money on the gray market, and Eli Lilly and Johnson & Johnson should be the one making the money. And the prices are going to go up, so get your peptides now. That also being said, peptides are legal. You know what also was made illegal this last week? In I think Tennessee, was it Connecticut? In Connecticut, kratom, which we've all known is a real, it's just like they sold that in gas stations, is now changed to a federal Schedule 1. They linked it as state level, but it's a Schedule 1 narcotic now in Connecticut. I don't know if base kratom should have been Schedule 1, but I don't drink that stuff anymore either. I just realized it was like, I didn't know it was unhealthy. It's not a big deal. I just don't drink it anymore.
A lot of people have no idea.
Yeah.
What it is, what they're getting into.
No, but it's that 7-OH stuff. So there's a form of it, which I've never tried, called 7-OH, as they call it, legal perks, PERKS. And dude, people are like, there was this streamer who took a legal perk, and everyone thought he was on heroin, but he was actually on a perk. No, but they have lighter versions of Kratom that work like an upper. Like if you have ADHD, it's just like an energy drink. But that's all illegal. Also, weed variants were made illegal yesterday. That's such a funny thing. On April Fool's Day, they made all weed variants illegal in Texas. So Delta 8, all weed variants are illegal. So there's no,
How do you feel about
THCA, THCO, THC, Delta 8. How do I feel about that?
Yeah, what are we thinking? It's probably a net positive, I would say, overall. Because the people that smoke weed, they really, they almost never get out of it, it seems like. Some people use it correctly, but most people don't. And it ruins their lives,
I think that there shouldn't be a separate medical thing. I think doctors should be allowed to prescribe it, though. I think it should be allowed to be prescribed.
Yeah, maybe for specific cases.
Yeah, if you have insomnia and they give you like a little cartridge pen, it's just like to help you sleep or something like that. Like I'd rather have weed than Ambien.
It seems to just ruin people's ambition, or at the very least, it makes lazy people never feel like they have to do anything. So maybe they were already lazy, but then they start smoking weed and they decide, okay, I'm just never going to do anything. This is pretty good as it is.
Yeah. Speaking of that,
it's bad for the economy.
Speaking of that, Kristi Noem is in hot water. Her baby foreskin she injects failed. They're not holding her face up anymore.
Yeah, this is a good story.
So the former DHS secretary, this is like kind of old news, but we didn't talk about it yet. Kristi Noem's husband was exposed as a cross-dresser. Daily Mail reports. Look at those nipples, by the way. Crazy.
Ooh. Why are they like, it's like googly eyes, They're lopsided.
Absolutely diabolical situation here. But honestly, who hasn't put on a fake pair of tits and sent pictures of their homies?
But is anybody surprised at all? It's almost like this stuff, it doesn't hit like it used to. After the Epstein stuff and the alien stuff, this is just, everyone expected this, I think.
Everybody's done it.
Is anybody surprised? I'm not.
We've literally all done this. Come on, everyone agree.
Who hasn't?
One's in the chat if you've put on a giant pair of oogly boogly
fake tits.
Dude, those are bigger than D's, brother. That is a torta chest. That is, this guy went straight torta. So an interesting take on this, okay? At least my scandals are like understandable, right? Most of them are not even true, but I like the aura a little bit. It's kind of funny. It's like, okay, well, you want to say shit, go ahead. But
I'm gonna take the tits off the screen.
Yeah, please do.
Yeah,
put these ones on. Bounce your chest. Anyways, that's weird. But I actually think that means I think that means that Kristi Noem was they attempted to blackmail her. And I do believe that means that her love for Israel is authentic. Okay. She's not being paid. She loves that place.
Absolutely not. Well, apparently she's I don't know the exact details, but she has come out against anti-trans laws that were coming out, and she opposed them in some ways. I don't know. Maybe we could pull that up later. Something to look into for the audience. It's just interesting, and now it kind of makes sense why she did that, because her husband
she probably knew
cross-dressing tranny.
Yeah, well, that's possible, but I think she's a cross-dresser. That's different than transgenderism. I don't think he thinks he's a woman. I think he just likes.
Well, it's like one step away.
I think one of the emails said. I think one of the emails said. One of the emails said he sent an email that said like, "Don't just women's clothes feel better on you?" And it was sent to a Rift TV email, Elijah.Schaefer@rifttv.com. No, but it was like, don't women's clothes just feel better on you? And I was like, I don't know, dude. I don't. They look uncomfortable, actually. They look like they're really tight, the way that the girls wear clothes today. Mm. We were talking about this, which is it's a sensitive topic. I'm not going to make a joke out of this. But, I was making a joke that was just like, why are parents dressing their minor children, girls, or letting their teenage girls dress so provocatively? Like I went to the movie theater, and there was a group of girls there. Of course, and as a dad, it wasn't, I was like more disgusted because I have children. I'm actually glad I don't have a daughter yet. I have two very, 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 very precious sons. And I was kind of like, had that dad moment, where you're like, why would you let your teenage daughters, these are like 13-year-olds, dress like they're 30-year-old women? That's not that, like, And even the way they were dressed was like if you're going to a club, not the theaters. And that's really the dad's faults, because those dads are just cucks to their wives, because their wife's like, it looks cute on her, honey. And it's like, your daughter is going to get preyed upon by some creepy weirdos, and these are like 12, 13, this isn't like that age of consent argument that people make, like, oh, well, it's 17 in Texas and 18 in Florida and 16 in Mississippi, or whatever it is that people say. I don't make those arguments. People do make those arguments. So these are like kids, these are straight up kids. And I was just thinking about it, it's always the white girls. It's always like white teenage kids that their dads are just letting them dress provocatively. And that's really kind of like an unfortunate thing in reality. And I just want to remind you, if you're a dad, don't let your wife let your kids dress provocatively. If you have little kids that are girls, like, well, she's a little kid, she's in a bikini. No. Put her in her bathing suit and a rash guard and shorts. You don't do that, because you never know who's out there. You never know what weirdos are out there. And there's a lot of weirdos out there, man. The porn stuff has really twisted some people's minds. They go one of two directions. The heavy porn addiction. I'm not talking about people who casually, purvey sexual, actions. I love someone the other night was like, it's like, do you really, when you watch porn, you're like getting off to watching people have sex. That's what it is. Like, you turned on, and then people will be like, I'm not a cuck. And then there's like jerking off to these other people having sex. People like to watch that stuff. However, if you get addicted to it, and I don't mean like, a couple times a week you're jerking off. I mean, if you like are looking at it like 10 times a day for hours at a time, it leads in two directions. You either become a what's his name? Beast Man or something? What's that guy's YouTuber's name?
Mr. Beast?
Mr. Beast, yeah.
His friend.
Mr. Beast employee.
Yeah.
You're Mr. Beast employee.
Chris.
Or you become a pedophile. But typically the transgenders are really into the pedophilia stuff. It just leads you, so you got to be careful with your brain, man. You got to be careful with your brain, because you consume too much of that stuff, and it's just going to fry you. Now, I'm kind of one of the weird people where it's like, if you just look at it a little bit, it's like, dude, men used to go to war and rape and kill, the people's women and stuff. And it's probably better in society if we're not just like acting like a Pakistani walking down the street in London at 3 a.m. You know what I mean? It's probably better if we're not acting like that as a society. But also, in general, I would agree. If you look at no porn, it's going to be healthier for your brain, right? Yeah. It's going to be healthier for you if you look at no porn at all. But if you're looking at it a lot, you got to reach out to somebody, and you got to try to get help, because you might end up working for Mr. Beast and getting fired shortly after, if you know what I'm saying. So be careful for that. Or you might end up like this. Yeah. Be careful, guys. You got one life. Don't waste it on fake tits. That's a good advice my grandfather gave me.
Yeah. You got to protect your kids.
You got to protect your kids. Dude, protect your kids. And that's why we talk about like jokes and allegations and stuff. But as a dad, my only like hope in life is to protect my children and to make sure they grow up into being better men than I was. That's really what it is. And I'm not ashamed of the man that I am, because I don't know, man. Sometimes you got to get your hands a little bit dirty to do some crazy stuff. But there's one place we draw the line, which is hurting kids. But apparently our government doesn't draw the line there. That's what's so sick about it. That's why you're like, well, why do they not care about destroying a school in Tehran or wherever it was? They don't care because they kill kids for sport. I think they do. I think they have rituals. I think it's true. I've heard enough accounts and stories from people, and I told you I almost got pulled into a satanic like pedophile cult when I was a kid. When I was a kid, they tried to like not as an adult, by the way. As a kid, they tried to like recruit me. It was crazy. And it's like, I've told this story on a podcast. We're not going to get into it today, but it's like, that's very real. And so the girls didn't find themselves, and that was not Erica Kirk recruiting girls, by the way. That was crazy. But also with Erica Kirk, what's that? What is that? What is going on there?
That's the mission.
Yeah. What is going on with can we talk about Erica Kirk for a second? You guys saw the Drewski skit, right? I want to play that because if you didn't see it, you've been living under a rock, and your name might be Patrick. But he made this. Check this out.
Get on your feet!
War is raging in Iran.
We're praying for all the soldiers and troops.
That's great that you're praying, but
how about all the kids that died when the USA hit the towers?
It broke my heart. That is the
In what ways have you grown closer to Jesus?
I serve a righteous God, and that is why we say our prayers.
It's like uncanny.
All his children.
I have chills.
But when I say children, I mean like the holy blessed Trinity, which is why I hold the Bible.
Sweet cream foam chai ice matcha. And Bella will have all organic puck cup. Organic? Yes, everything organic. Oh, say does that star spangled banner yet?
I love this part. Devil horns. It's crazy. His devil horns are in there. National.
She's really dealing with the grief well.
3, 2. Hold your chest lifted. We're gonna lift.
We have to protect all men in America, especially all white men in America. Those are the boys that we care about in this country. America is built on their backs.
True. So true.
Yes. Because they are the ones who mattered most.
True. Fact check true. All right.
That's true.
So I don't want to say anything insensitive here because obviously Colvette and Kirk and the rest of them at Turning Point, who are good friends, by the way, not Kirk, but Colvette and the guys there. I love them a lot. And I don't want to mock a grieving widow. It is the catch-22 of our time. It's like, I've really stayed out of criticizing Erica because, like, this is what's crazy. Look, I'm not going to go so deep into this, but like, my children have not died. Okay, they're not even dead, and I'm going to see them in like a couple weeks finally because I won. I proved that there's no reason I should not be seeing my kids. I probably have grieved more. This is like a more personal moment, but I probably have grieved more and cried more. And as a man, you can cry over a few things. One of those things is when people mess with your kids. Okay, if your kid got hurt or whatever, no one's mad at Austin Metcalf's dad for crying that his mom crying for their kids died. It's very serious. And my kids didn't even die. They were just unrightfully taken and removed from me. And the courts agreed with me. You can have your kids back. So thank God for that. And I still believe that I can barely talk about it. I was out with Goliath and I was like, dude, I'm going to see my kids again. Like, I cannot believe that the Florida Supreme Court and the Supreme Court of Texas agreed that my kids were wrongfully taken and they ordered them to return, like from Australia. Like, this is, and I was like, he's like, you're going to cry. And I'm like, yeah. Cause like, I go, when I see my kids in a couple weeks, I'm going to cry because they're not dead, by the way, not dead. I'm crying. Like, I'm starting to cry, like tear up. And that's normal. Okay. And that's what I mean. That's normal. Guys will cry when they've been deployed for a year and haven't seen their wife and kids. And they see them, their kids aren't dead. Their wife's not dead, but they're like, you're like mourning the time you lost with them, And so sometimes that's how deep grief can be. Even if you don't see your kids for a couple months from someone treating you wrongly, that's enough to make a man break down. And that's why they do it, right? That's why women do that to us. They're trying to hurt us. They're trying to damage us. They use the kids as weapons, but they didn't die. And you know what? My mom did die. She's dead. And sometimes I'll shed a tear or two in the shower. And that's okay. Well, only 2, by the way, because after 2, it's gay. Then you're just gay and you're putting the shampoo bottle up your ass. Don't do that. No, but it's gay after 2 tears. But 2 tears and 2 beers. That's the maximum. When you cry, it's 2 tears. If the cop pulls you over, it's 2 beers. If you're driving a CPAC, in the back, it's 2 queers. Okay, so that's the memo. But I just don't relate to her. Do you know what I'm saying, Georgie? I'm bringing this personal because I don't want to drag her down. Yeah. I can't relate to the way she grieves. And I was like, everyone grieves different. No, but like if she went crazy and like shaved her hair and started smoking meth, I would more relate to her than anything else. Like it's not even because like she's like grieves differently. When we say grieves differently, it means some people get depressed, they get fat. Some people get onto drugs. Some people become angry. Some people become criminals. Some people, kill themselves. Some people, like what we're saying is that people do extreme things and they break down. I started drinking every day when my mom died. That's what I did. Not everyone starts drinking every day. I don't do that anymore. But for like 2 years, I did. I drank a lot because I was just hurting. And I think as a human element, something feels alien about it. And then you hear Matt Gaetz talking about alien hybrid programs. And you're like, wait a second. Your dad works for defense contracting for Israel? Are you guys the alien hybrid program? Is Erica Kirk an alien hybrid? I don't know. I'm not making that claim. I'm just saying I saw some people make that claim. And what I mean by that is like, I don't want to knock her. It's just like this. I think I cried more publicly about Charlie. I cried on air. We covered his death on air. It was live. And I had to leave the set and go cry because I was like heartbroken. Because, heartbroken. A lot of people were. What is up with this?
Yeah,
what is this?
It's very suspicious how she acted afterwards. I mean, it is what it is. I mean,
it's weird.
Yeah. I mean, it's very inorganic. And she has a weird past. With Israel, I think they met on a correct me if I'm wrong, but Erica and Charlie met either in Israel or on the flight to Israel. Is that correct? Do you know?
At the airport, I think.
At the airport going to Israel. And she was part of the Miss Trump pageant. So just interesting background on her. And then her response to Charlie's death was immediately step into the limelight and tell her story and take power in the company, and also have her ex-boyfriend on speaking for Charlie, and like they're in videos like having a great time, laughing.
Daily Wire employee, by the way.
Yeah.
Morning Wire.
Hey, Exhibit A.
And all they do is, this is what I'm going to say about accusations. It's like, I will literally be like, isn't that weird? That Cabot Phillips, she's like, they're like allegedly dating before, and he's back. He's like now working with her. Or whatever.
Like the day after.
And then someone will be like, you're just jealous because his show gets more views. And you're like, dude, everybody's show gets more views, dude. Hello. But it's like, why do they always do stuff like that? It's like, no, I'm just saying that's weird.
It is weird.
It's strange.
Yeah. What is that?
What is that? All right. That's the show, folks, for today. We're live every day now, so we don't go that long. But I do want to see what we're going to do. If you're in the Discord, one thing that's kind of cool is we're going to end with call-ins here at the, just some call-ins. And I'm pretty happy about that. In our Discord channel, again, if you can join locals, it's free. Please join. You guys are lucky too, because like advertisers don't start until next month, I think. So you guys get like advertisement-free shows. But we do got to support us, so join at locals.com, ElijahSchaefer.locals.com. It's a little red button there on locals. I do want to give a shout out to our locals viewers. Apparently the stream ended. Something happened to our local stream. Just let Brian know. It ended midstream. But because that ended midstream, I also like to bring in the group chat here. Where is this? Where's the, if you want to go into the voice chat, if you're watching, you can join the voice chat here at Discord. And you're welcome to give your opinion on Erica Kirk.
Oh, do you have it typed in here?
You don't need it. No, I have it on my phone. You don't need that.
Right.
You don't need to bring anything up. You're welcome to give your opinion. And we have some people coming in already. Doomsday Cracker, who's one of our memesters here. Dooms, you're live on the show right now. I just want to get your opinion. Am I weird on that in saying that the way that she behaves, or just like the way in general that she responded, it doesn't feel organic. Something feels wrong, but I also feel restricted from saying anything beyond that because it is the dad of her kid that was killed. And I like Charlie, and I'm fucked up over it still. What do you think?
I think you have every right to be confused, and I think anybody that is looking at it from the outside should be just as confused, if not more than you are. Everybody else can more easily vocalize it than somebody that's close to the situation as you are. But there's somebody in the chat just said before, yeah, I want my wife on my funeral to come out, go a firework parade. It's a lot of disrespectful action, a lot of shady connections. Just something ain't right. And I don't know what it all means, but I don't like it.
Yeah, well, because, okay, I'm not going to say anything, but if anyone's ever been divorced out there, a lot of people have. You know that there's a lot of drama between the people, but like that, like for instance, I'm going through some intense situations, but that's the mom of my kids. If she died, like I think everyone still secretly loves each other at the end of a divorce. I don't know what it's about. Like, I kind of would still get back with them, but like if my ex-wife died today, I would be devastated. Like I would cry, and I don't think I'd want to go on air for like a month, And it's like, I definitely wouldn't be like going in front of fireworks, And it's like I feel like divorced people would have more somber sorrow over their ex-husband or ex-wife. And I feel like I've met people with ex-girlfriends, they would cry. They've cried over more. They didn't even die. They just broke up. And it's like, Like I mentioned earlier, it doesn't even mean just death. I've seen men's lives ruined over a breakup with a girlfriend. Don't do that, by the way. There's more out there. But I mean, like, I don't know. That's why I'm just kind of thinking about it. I'm like, if that was her active husband, they couldn't have had a good marriage. I don't want to comment on that, but something was wrong there then. Something was wrong because it's just weird. The dabbing of the eyes. I don't know. Ari, I don't know if you have an opinion on that.
I mean, there's nothing she's ever done in these months to help herself. Everything she's done has just dug her a deeper and deeper hole. And it's like, even faking it, she could fake being more sympathetic, actually thinking about this better than anything. She is just constantly, every chance she gets, then just shown that she does not care. She just wanted the job.
Listen, and that's, yeah, I feel like I could fake being more sad. And Marion Mack was in the chat tonight. She was like, or whoever that was like, I love this. I miss us. So do I miss this. But Chanel B, I think this is a girl, right? Are you a girl?
Yes.
All right. We're just making sure you could be, you could just be Drewski in a wig. You never know. As a girl, I think one of the criticisms men have of women is that they're just too damn emotional. And that's like one of the greatest things. That's what we love about them too. You know, you're all masculine and then you get alone. Like you ever catch one of your niggas slipping and you see him with his girlfriend. He's like, oh, no, Pookie, boo boo. And you're like, you're gay. Is it gay to be soft with your girl? Maybe.
Yes.
And maybe. No, but you get all soft and then, you know how it is when you get a guy alone, he's in front of his friends and he's all like, whatever. And then you get him alone and he's all like, snooking up with you or whatever. And so like, for me, as a woman, no one would discredit a woman for being hyper emotional when her husband dies and handling it a lot worse than a man. If it was Charlie and Charlie wasn't breaking down crying and was like her, I don't think we think it's weird because as a man, kind of part of your resolve, we wouldn't care if he broke down or didn't. But men can typically, suppress their emotion. One of the weaknesses of women is that they can't stop their emotions and they can't sometimes contain it and they just fight to fight or yell to yell or, judge to judge or snoop on your phone or whatever it is. As a girl, this isn't talking down to women. I just like, am I wrong as a guy in my assertion that this seems like odd for just the female species? Like this seems like a very odd, like it seems like a woman's incapable of such callousness that it almost feels like she knows something or something like that. That's what it feels like to me, that there's like some sort of, just knows something that we don't. And again, I could be wrong, but I got to be fair to the audience on that.
No, I think her reaction was so startling that like, even when she did that, when she came on live and standing next to his chair, I don't think that there could have been any women who thought that was natural. It was so forced and so strange, and holding she was holding a rosary, wasn't she?
I think she was.
She Catholic?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she is.
She was holding something in her hand. I don't maybe it was Charlie's necklace. I don't remember.
Yeah, maybe.
But it was so disingenuous. And then all I can think about through her whole tour is where are her children? If it had been me and my husband got smoked like on live TV, I would never let my children out of my sight. And yet she's like around so many people all the time and doing events. Where are her kids?
Also, what if she gets killed too? Like your kids have one parent.
Exactly.
Wouldn't she like kind of be like not going out in public?
Yeah, I mean, and I would be out of my mind if my husband got shot. I mean, even if anything happened to him, there would be no consoling me. I would have to be in a straitjacket. There would be nothing.
Well, speaking of that, it's like weird. Right as I looked at this, we had 304 viewers on Rumble. 304s. What I want to bring up, I don't know if any of you guys in here want to respond to this, but there's no way with what Charlie believed, right? When she says that only like white men are important, it's like those are Charlie words. Why would Charlie want a woman leading Turning Point? Isn't that antithetical to his patriarchal views? Like, I'm being honest here. Women can lead organizations and they can lead, but that's not what they were built for.
We had a lot of women working for him.
But leading the organization, he didn't have that wasn't his choice, dude. I know how the organization worked. Okay, he's not in charge of every department. You have other guys that are investors in the company. He's not, dude. He was the face of it. He might have founded it, but the people who gave the money are the ones who owned it. Okay, he might have owned part of it. But you know how boards work. I got kicked off my own company that I've started. Now they can't get it off the ground. But it's like, this is how it happens on a corporation. I just feel like Charlie's idea would have been it would have made sense if Andrew Colvett was running it. It's
interesting that there was no
I think it
planned
would
for
have made
this.
more sense if they just left her alone. I don't know why she had to be so front and center right away. Like, did she even have proper time to mourn at all? And then there was that super strange video that they took, like, of him in the casket. Imagine trying to have that moment with your husband and there's someone with the phone camera, like, over you. I can't unsee that kind of scene and how strange that is.
Yeah, also, did you notice Trump's reaction after, right when Charlie died? It was very odd, too. He didn't seem to care.
Oh, yeah, he said, oh, that's tragic. And then he talked about the ballroom. He's like, we're building a beautiful ballroom, and it'll be done soon. That's what he said, I remember.
It's gonna be big. Oh, what is that? Charlie's dead? Wow, this is the first time I'm hearing about that right now. Anyways, there's gonna be 20-foot ceilings in the ballroom. They say my balls are big, but my ballroom's even bigger, you know? That's what they're saying. I don't say it, but some of them are saying it.
About how it went, yeah.
I said that. I did say that. That was me who said that. Every time I say that they're saying that, it's just me saying that. But it's my internal thoughts, you know? No one's saying it but me. You're like, dude, you need to get that guy off the microphone. I don't know. Where do lastly, I guess, did I get kicked out of here? What the hell? There you are. Ari, Dooms, you guys want to weigh in on that? And then we're going to wrap up the show with a couple announcements and head off because we don't have locals only working for this week. It'll start next week with a bonus segment every show.
I would just say that, yeah. I'll say that, you know, as you were mentioning, Elijah, you know, the investors are a big portion of a large company like that, and they have a fiduciary duty to their other investors to make sure that their investments are kept in a proper channel and in good hands. I don't see how even after all of this time and the public outcry and the numbers of TPUSA dwindling, that they've allowed her to be kept in there at the detriment to the financial bottom line if there wasn't some other motivating factor that they feel is not worth the price of their company, whether that be the message that they want to get out or whatever else they're trying to hide. Something ain't right. That's bad.
What about you, Ari? I'll let you guys all, I'll let Ari go, then Derek, and then Andy. I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, or yeah, just what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think Charlie Kirk, he served his purpose. Like, they didn't want to let the company die, but who was his audience anymore? The left hated him, the right hated him. There was no audience for him to go to. And as soon as he started to pivot, they had to decide, did they want that company to, all that money and capital they invested in, all the sponsors that they had to go towards this new cause of America First, or they could just get rid of him and get the one that they planted, the honeypot there, that can replace him real fast. So, I mean, everyone knows what happened. It's not like it's an open secret, but no one can admit it. And then you have people like Candace Owens just muddying the water, quite frankly, as a mud shark likes to do.
I think she is the mud. I don't know if she's the mud shark. But by the way, I'm friends with Candace personally. I can't ever talk shit on her, but I know a lot of people do. But they do it about everybody. I will say that, you know, I have a theory that happened before to Derek, and Charlie spoke to me in a dream last night and told me this. I swear to God. God forbid a nigger have dreams, you know? Like, did you want to know something? I don't know if this is true. I saw a tweet that said the last time someone was assassinated with a bullet, they claim that Charlie Kirk was assassinated with. It was with a civil rights icon. Do you know what I'm talking about? It was the number one civil rights icon who was banging whores. The Reverend. Anyone?
Martin Luther.
Martin Luther. That's what I read. It said that he was killed with the same bullet. The same bullet size. And they never really got the killer or something there either. So I don't know if that's true, but I read it on the internet, so it's probably true because, you know, Twitter doesn't lie ever. But I was going to say, you know, I have an interesting theory. I'll share it. Derek, go ahead. What are your thoughts? Because I have kind of a good thing after Derek and Andy speak. And I know I've never said it on air, but I have a real theory of why I think they killed Charlie from my own investigations, and it is what it is.
I just think that the more I see with the Iran stuff, I think it probably had to do with Iran. Like, the fact that they're so against it vocally, even though I think it might have to do more with that than the tacit disapproval of Israel he was starting to edge towards. Because I think he was going to be moderate on Israel anyway. But I think the Iran war was basically something Israel had to have, and whether it was Israel directly or to somebody in Trump's orbit who thought he was a threat, I think it was, well, we can't go to war with Iran if Charlie Kirk's openly against it. And he's not going to backtrack on this. He was very strong. And those text messages that came out with him talking, saying I was just in there with Trump trying to convince him not to go to war with Iran, ages ago. I think that's the more that comes out about that, the more I think there's some kind of connection there. But that's just my 2 cents.
Yeah. Lastly, Andy, what's your thoughts?
Yes, pretty much the same thoughts as everyone here. But just to say that any organization like whether it's TPUSA that large, especially with an influence over the youth, there's a lot of, you got to follow the money. You got to follow where those things lead. And like Derek said, his opposition to Iran was a pretty big deal. And the only other detail I would add is if anyone remembers that weird EMP documentary that Erica was a part of, that was pretty unusual.
Yeah. It was. Thank you, guys. Remember, if you want to join, you can join at Locals and join, because this is a show that's going to build over the next year. This is the first time I've actually decided to do shows every day and keep the community alive. Thanks, guys, for joining. I'm going to leave you there. By the way, I think what we can do, let me try an experiment real fast. What mic is this right here?
That's guess one.
Well, what I was going to say is, I wonder if when we do these calls.
Yeah, you could put it there. It's
like, because they could talk now, right? Like you could put it there. Guys, can you say something? Someone say something real fast.
Bigger.
Can you turn it on? Turn on? Try again.
That's mic 2.
Hey.
Yeah, that works,
Yeah,
right?
that
You just stick the
works.
phone there.
Very good.
I don't have to hold it there anymore, and then they can hear them. Try. Okay, go ahead, Channel B. Say last word, because I wanted to see if this works.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning into the Rift tonight.
Yeah, hell yeah. All right, you can mute that. All right, so my opinion here, thanks guys. My opinion is this, and it kind of goes with what Derek is saying, and sort of what I think went on is there was a shift going on in the right wing, and this is going to be a far stretch, and I'm not saying that I had anything to do with it. I'm saying there was a shift going. It was really just Charlie, and everybody knows. I love Fuentes. I love the Groypers. I love you guys. I'm not a Groyper, but I love you guys. I love the far right. I love the dissident right. Some of the Wignats, the methods I don't agree with, but whatever. I would still support you guys. I love you guys regardless. I love you guys. I don't support.
We're all on some level on the same team. So
yeah,
on some level,
all of us. But when I got that call from the owner of Turning Point a couple weeks before and started speaking with them about Rift, we were about to get our, multi-million dollars in the new year. They were going to give us a big booth, next to Daily Wire and Fox. And, we were about to expand to a bunch of young influencers and start putting people on payroll and really competing. And, I let Nick come on my show in Blaze, and Mark Levin was not happy about that. I essentially, a lot of the reason why I got fired, they just looked for a reason to do it, right? Like ultimately they were looking for a reason. I actually ran into some Blaze employees at CPAC, and he said hello, and then she proceeded to say, "Go fuck yourself, Elijah," or something like that. I was like, wow.
She loves you, bro.
Your second husband must love you. Just said hello, and again, I go, I just said hi. And it's like, go fuck yourself. And you're like, well, okay, bitch. I've masturbated plenty of times in my life. It felt great every time. No, people are just so full of themselves here. Like, you could just be a human being, She's not the only girl that night who cursed me out, by the way. But anyways, we're not going to go into that. The point is, the Blaze people are too afraid to even come on my shows because they're like, they're going to get in trouble for coming on. They could get fired for just coming on my show. So instead they shit on it every day. And they wanted me out, okay? And that's good. I should have gone. I would got fired later for the Israel stuff anyways. But things were shifting last year. And, there was going to be that debate with Marjorie Taylor and Josh Hammer. I was talking with them to try to do something bigger there. And Charlie was opening the doors to people like me, and not to Nick, but he was opening the doors to people like me and Marjorie and those of us that are out there. And everybody knows I have a much bigger presence behind the scenes in the political world than really in front of it. I'm really kind of a small podcaster. Every show I make and I grow it gets destroyed. I think I'm the only person that's like probably had like 8 shows in the last like 4 years, and they all get tactically nuked on purpose by these people. But Charlie was interested not in nuking us. Colvin and them, they were interested in what we were doing, and it was, gaining some traction. That's interesting, right? It was not the nuke. It was like, hey, do you want to come back in and be a part of the fold? And I can't be the only person they were talking to. We found out they were talking to Marjorie and others, and it's interesting. We obviously from Kash, he was texting Charlie a lot. He wasn't Tucker. He wasn't telling Tucker he couldn't speak at events. So it's an interesting direction. And, Pat Buchanan taught us, they've been seeking for this Iran war since at least 1995. And in 2003, the initial goal in 2001 and in 2003 was to invade Iran. And even last year, they tried to invade Iran. October 7th had to do with Lebanon and Iran as well. But I believe that it was too high of a risk because they needed Iran. This has been their crown jewel. That's why, look, it might be over in 2 weeks, but we'll have boots on the ground in Iran at some point. Okay, that's what I'm gonna say. At some point we will. And it might not be now, just like the last Iran war. It might not be now. We've had 26 Iran wars in the last 6 months.
Do you think it's actually gonna ramp down the way that they say it is? Because Rubio says we have to remove their capability of missiles.
Well, when Rubio's president, we'll be back. Okay, possibly.
I agree. I think that's probably what they're going to do.
Yeah, right now it's not working, but eventually we might do it.
Yeah. And
they'll say, we already took out their military. They couldn't have built it back up. We'll put boots on the ground. Then we're going to get fucking slaughtered like we did in Vietnam. Okay? And I think we might pull out and focus on Cuba next. That's probably where we're going to head is Cuba. The war machine's not going to stop.
I'd support that.
Cuba's we're probably going to try and take over Cuba.
I'm okay with that.
Who knows?
Good.
But the reality is
make it part of the keys.
I am not saying that this is why Charlie was killed. I'm just giving an example of where I thought things were going. Where my head was going was, I was going to talk to Charlie at AmFest. I was going to tell him, like, dude, I'm kind of like sick of the movement. You seem to be sick of the movement. Put me back on your speaking tours, just me, and and some people. Like, let me be on the panels with Marjorie and some people. I'll keep it nice. I'll say, the rabid Zionist supremacists, many of which are Protestants. I will never call out Jews. This is where my head was going, and my goal, like a lot of people's, was to eventually get a debate going between Fuentes and Charlie, or have Charlie host a debate between Fuentes and somebody else like Josh Hammer. It would have been just as big.
On the way.
It seemed like it was on the way.
It would have happened by now, for sure.
Or at least we'd be heading there.
He did Piers Morgan.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So
he did Tucker right after that.
Right. So it's big, right?
Yeah.
And essentially, the whole movement was trending in our direction. And the neocons did a takeover. They took over TikTok. They've killed a lot of people. They're willing to kill a school full of girls. You don't think they would kill Charlie? And so I'm not really concerned whether the bullet, which they can't match because it's forensics and they just can't match it, which a lot of times they can't match the bullet. That does happen. Mm-hmm. Of course, the giant bullet that didn't break through his neck can blow open a moose. I do believe that they saw things because they also took Rift out. That FBI directive. Everyone knows they took Rift out temporarily from an FBI directive from New York. And I met with, by the way, I've claimed a lot about this James O'Keefe stuff and whatever. And people are like, is that really true? They threatened to kill him. Yeah, I mean, he's got served the papers for his domestic violence restraining order from Matthew Tierman on air the other day. That's what I'm telling you. Someone's like, oh, you got a restraining order on you. It doesn't mean it's real, dude. It just means that people are trying to make you look bad, okay? Anyone can file a restraining order against anyone. And if they don't tell you that they can fake serve you too. Unlike James, I was fake served. No one served me ever. Papers. And then I got defaulted on. And now we're undoing it. Now we're going back. It's going to be undone. And James is going to be undone. And I said this. They accuse you of what they're doing. Always. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter if it's a private or civil or public. The point is that, look, they tried to kill Nick. Apparently they tried to kill Candace. There's a plot from a Jewish rabbi. They killed Charlie. They threatened to kill James. I wasn't big enough. This is what they keep doing to me. I'm not big enough yet to kill. Mm-hmm. So they just take out, they have a more effective strategy with me. If they can keep you from growing big enough to be a threat, then they just keep taking out your shows, your organizations. And that's what they keep doing to me. They take out show after show after show after show. And the best example I have of that is I was going through a divorce completely separate of anything to do with my company. But before my divorce went final, they took out my company. People don't know that. That's why we were off air. They took out my investors. They took out everybody. They blackmailed people. And then they took advantage of my personal matters. Okay. And then made everybody think I got a divorce because of Sarah Stock, which is completely untrue. Sarah Stock has nothing to do with my personal life or anything like that. You know, there's nothing to do with me. And that's what they do. And then they make the public think you deserve it. That's what James O'Keefe. Oh, well, Nick's a racist. You know, Nick deserves to be killed. He's a racist. James deserves to die because he's a domestic violence person. That's what they're saying now. He's commits domestic violence. What the fuck is that? So, you know, I just don't try to counter signal our own people, which is why I don't really talk any shit on Candace either, because I consider her to still be on the same ideological front in a lot of ways. But I do believe that I don't think it's just Jews, but the supremacists, the neocon and Jewish cabal, which is neocon. There's a lot of white people involved in this too.
Inc.
Neocon Inc. Yeah. We need to start doing that because we're on YouTube. It's Neocon Inc., which are the Jews, they're the Zionists. They're the Jews and the white Jewish Zionists too. They come together under Neocon Inc. We're not going to call them the Frankists. We're going to call them Neocon Inc. here. But that really just means Jews that are evil. But not all Jews are evil. And I want to say that clearly here. Jews and blacks have a similar proportionality of good people. There are really good black people out there, and they exist. And there are really good Jewish people out there that exist. They really are. But the one problem I have with good Jewish people and good black people is there's still something in them where they're like more loyal to their heritage than they are to like.
Well, we're the only group. We're the only group that isn't. We're the only group that doesn't feel that. So the blacks and the Jews, they share that in that they identify with their own people and they prioritize their own people, and we don't. We're the only ones that don't.
Someone else said I look like a mid-tier villain from One Piece. I don't know what that means. No, but I think
I totally see it.
I think that the threats to kill everyone, it all happened at the same time. I think it's an FBI directive, and I think that the feds, I think that the government worked with the foreign government and possibly the French government. Because one thing I didn't know is that the French government's heavily involved in coups and heavily involved in our government, and they're heavily involved. I actually didn't know that until talking to the Romanians, the senators there. They showed me how the French overturned their elections. The French overturned the Romanian elections. Their based right-wing person was overturned by the French. And that's from the senators, by the way, from sitting senators in Romania and Croatia. They're saying that they're messing up with all of Eastern Europe. It's the United States and France and Israel are messing with everybody. And, you know, when in the first election during 2020, if you guys remember this back in the show, I told people that I had a meeting at Trump Hotel, and I've mentioned this many times, and they were telling me that I was told by a sitting congressman at the time that they believed that the messing with the machines during Trump's first election to get him in office was actually Mossad, that it was Israel, that Israel worked to get Trump elected. And we saw that happen in 2024 again, right? They got Trump elected. The Adelson money, the Jews came in and got him elected. Musk too, but Musk says he's philo-Semitic, actually. He doesn't just tolerate Jews, he loves them. And I just believe that it's different methods, but it's the same goal, is they have to keep people like us down. And so I was going to say, even TikTok's in the same goal. It's like, you got to force the sale of TikTok, blame the Chinese. You got to say,
well, it seems like every president since JFK was on some level installed by at least the Israel lobby.
Yeah,
Mossad
I agree.
Definitely has some part to play in that in terms of the media manipulation and things of that nature.
Yeah, so long story short, I don't think that we can wash our hands of the Charlie thing. And I think anyone trying to get you to accept the narrative is a fucking liar, and they want to make money and keep the machine going and keep the money coming in. But I want the truth for Charlie, and I bet you his Jewish donors are involved with my life on it. And I bet you there's a lot of people around him who betrayed him. A lot of people. A lot of people
The
betrayed him.
timeline is very strange. How it all lined up. His ideas starting to change around Israel and his support for Israel. And then immediately after, he gets killed and his wife takes his place. And Turning Point USA is a very adamantly pro-Jewish organization. And until Kingdom Come, it seems like they have no intention of changing.
No. And that being said, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Rumble, make sure you like the video right now. Subscribe to the channel. We got to grow. We're going to be doing a lot other content than just the show at night, by the way. If you like the show broken up into smaller segments, we're planning on doing shorter news segments during the day as well. So you can't catch the show, you can at least watch the shorter segments, watch us cover the stories before the show, and, you know, more specifically without all the commentary. Those should be going up as well as we grow the team. But make sure you like, share, subscribe to this video, join the chat, join the locals. There'll be a bonus segment next week, and we're going to be live here every night at 9 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. Eastern. I think it's a good time. I like this time. I'm not really tired by this time, and I'm able to keep my energy and independent media and journalism alive. And this will be the ascension year This will be the vindication year. I always get vindicated, and I am in the middle of vindication. And when it becomes legally appropriate, I will release the true story of what happened, and I will show people through court docs that I wasn't lying. And the things that I said, some of which I've deleted online, are true. My lawyer said, just shut the fuck up, because it's so bad of what's going on towards you that it does seem crazy. Yeah. And you got to let the courts rule now. And then you got to come out with the documents, and you got to show people, like the Epstein files. Here's the Elijah files. Here's what really happened.
And we will.
And we will. And it's going to come out. And it will make national headlines because it's bad. But they didn't win, bitch. You didn't win, bitch. Hey, bitch, you didn't win. That being said, to all of you guys, thank you so much again for your support. To those that are loyal here, I really appreciate you guys. To the SOB loyalists, Slightly Offensive is back. I hope you like solo shows, because panel shows are going to be maybe once a week at most, probably. Maybe guests are going to be on another day, maybe 2 shows like with a remote guest, one with a panel, and the rest are just going to be me with Georgie. On Monday, Australia Talk, Ben comes back to the show Monday night.
Nice.
Tomorrow will be a shorter video. It's not going to be a full live stream. I'm going to be doing a pre-recorded video, probably about 25 to 30 minutes long, just covering the stories of the day and releasing it, because we are going to be meeting with some sponsors. We have some sponsors. We have to go, drive out and go in their helicopter. It's kind of cool. We're going to go in a helicopter, and then we're going to this island. They said they have this island they want to meet us at, and we just have to do a couple things, and they'll give us the deal of our life. So it's in the Bahamas or something like that. What did they say? You got to come to this island with us. Just come on this island with this helicopter.
It's just a small little island.
Yeah. It's a ranch in New Mexico, actually. They changed it.
Yeah.
So, no, but they said they're going to join us.
There's horses on this one.
Yeah, we got some good sponsorships in the way, in the deal. And guys, I'm going to tell you this, thank you so much for your support, because I am in 6 different litigations right now, and I'm going to win all of them. And it's my lawyer, who's one of the best lawyers in the world, told me that. She said, I've been with richer guys. It's not that hard to be richer than me. I've been with richer guys, more famous guys, more talented guys. I'm like crying. Better looking, taller, better jawlines, better teeth, better personalities. No, she didn't do that hard, but she was like, I've seen men with much more to lose crumble with the pressure you're under, and you've always found the money. You've always found the time. You've showed up to everything on time, and people like you win. And look, I'm going to do it without Israel's support, without Israel's help. I'm going to do it with your help and your support, because if I lose, you lose too. And that's my ending statement. If I lose, you lose.
Sign up to the locals.
Sign up to the locals and join, because if I lose, they can do it to anyone. Shout out to Sam Parker. Shout out to Kyle Serafin and others being persecuted by the military-industrial complex and elite. We are not working for Russia. We work for Qatar, by the way. That's true. And the rest of you guys watching, I appreciate you. Shout out to Georgie. If you want to follow me as well, you can follow me on X at Elijah Schaffer. ElijahSchaffer. You can follow me there. And you can follow me on Instagram as well, Rift TV or The Rift TV. We're on Facebook. We're everywhere. God bless Facebook. Anyways, Georgia, if people want to find you and follow you, how do they support you with the commentary there?
Yeah, just, I got all the support I need. But if you need to contact me for anything, business-related things, it's at Sith Lord Groiper. I'll probably come up with something better at some point. But that's my Groiper account. I have an affinity for it, so I'm keeping it for now. And
to let the chat have a little fun, when you do the outro, don't end the stream yet. Play the outro, and then after the Rift logo, put on the stream starting soon. Because in the future, I'll put the BRB screen up for like 5 or 10 more minutes, just to let people in the chat talk and whatever. If you did want to join locals, you want to know more about it or how to get the Discord, Notice Where I Am is in the Rumble chat. Feel free to join there. To the rest of you guys on locals and all the loyalists, we appreciate you. We'll be giving you some bonus content over the weekend with our new sponsors and stuff. So you'll get some inside stuff this weekend. It'll be kind of cool. Very, very nice. Very, very bright. We don't have a show on Saturday because we are going to be we're going to be getting money for the show, which is fantastic. We appreciate you all. Have a great rest of the week. As always, and as I say, may God bless the United States of America. And to my sons, I hope you sleep well. Have a good night. Sorry, real fast, guys. Shout out to Unity, Not Diversity. I think he was going to say something about Milo or something, but he didn't say anything. For $10, give him a round of applause. We'll do a round of applause and confetti for $10. There you go. Thank you. We'll be right back. Going back to the waiting screen so you guys can chat. Have a good night.